beginning of the season, Lando Norris said 2025 is my year. So did Zach Brown. But I think that, what's his name, Piastri was taking notes. So this is going to be round 6. We're going to see what happens between the two of them. I have a slight feeling that if Norris has his head game properly, he should be able to beat Piastri on this track because this track is a front limited track, a rear limited track. So it has like slow speed corners. It doesn't have those technical corners where Norris is struggling at high speeds, pushing the limits. So he doesn't have to push performance. If he can't win today, that means there's something wrong with him.
Yeah, I quite agree with you. He has reached a stage in the season where he has to basically throw out everything people have said about him and try and focus on his ability. Really, like you rightly mentioned, this is not a very fast track. It's like midway between very fast and very slow. So a lot of teams are going to be setting up their cars for medium downforce. Medium to high downforce.
Medium to low.
So, and one thing that is crucial for this track is braking. There are a lot of corners, so there's going to be a lot of pressure and
hairpin.
And hairpin as well. So there's a lot of demanding braking zones, especially turns 1, 11, and 17. So it's going to put a lot of pressure on the brakes. So the brakes cooling system has to be spot on for all the teams. So I feel Lando Norris should be able to, if he can get his head straight and forget about what people have been saying, he should be able to do well on this track. He's not so technical and he's not so fast. So
So if you look at this track, So if you look at this track, if you notice that very long straight, I think that's sector 2? The very long in the yellow. Sector 1. That very long straight is going to rely a lot of high speed. Then you've got hairpin. You've got that hairpin at 17. Then you've got like right here from I think it's the red area. You have like a long constant radius slow speed. So when you have slow speed like that, you don't need to put high downforce settings because the downforce doesn't come into play at those low speeds. So there's going to be low downforce to mid downforce settings. So that for 2 reasons, because you don't need it for these types of, you need high downforce settings for high speed tracks, but also to reduce the drag on that long straight, because everybody wants to be super fast on that long straight. So there's not going to be high downforce settings. That's going to hurt Max because Max likes to have tracks where he can use high downforce settings with high speed corners, which are very technical. This is not a technical track. So I don't know how Red Bull is going to do. I have Max will be fighting for 3rd or 4th with George Russell. I think that's what's going to happen. We know that McLaren is good on either track, but they have more of an advantage here because on high-speed tracks like Jeddah last week and Suzuka, Verstappen gives them trouble. But this type of track, unless there's some major changes in Red Bull, I don't see them doing well on this track unless they improve their rear stability, because you need to have rear stability for these hairpins. And also they don't really have a lot of traction and things like that. So my prediction, like we said, is that it's going to be McLaren fighting for 1-2. And I think that if Norris does what he's supposed to do, he should be able to outqualify Piastri and win this race. But that, for me saying that, it's a big should, because I think now it's just 50-50 between the two of them, and the difference is mental. I think coming in 3rd and 4th will be Red Bull, will be Verstappen and Russell. I'm going to give the slight edge to Russell on car, but we all know Verstappen's a maniac. Ferrari is made for high-speed tracks, which is why Leclerc is doing well, because he likes tracks which are front-limited, where he can do it. And funny enough, Hamilton would like this track more because of the slow-speed corners. He can brake late and be a little bit harder, but I think he'll be 0.3 of a second per lap behind Leclerc rather than 0.6, if you get what I'm trying to say. What are your thoughts, Afolabi?
Yeah, I agree with you.
I just spoke grammar. I don't even know what I was saying.
No, the McLaren, I agree with you in the sense that I don't think Red Bull will get any joy from this track. Frankly,
not
the McLaren cars will dominate here. And where I feel Max Verstappen can do well is maybe 3rd position. And you still have Russell, you have Charles Leclerc also breathing down his neck.
I think Leclerc won't like this track though, because he can't take advantage of high speed.
I have
him coming 5th, but it's going to be a title fight between Ferrari and Williams and Haas for 5th position. Sorry.
Exactly. In fact, Williams, particularly Carlos Sainz. I think Carlos Sainz will do well on this kind of track. And
that's what on real limited tracks, yeah.
And another thing we need to consider is hot and humid temperatures in Miami. It could lead to thermal degradation. So tire management is very, very important.
There'll be rain though. There'll be rain. And
there could be rain on race day. There could be rain on race day.
So that's going to cool it down.
Yes.
But I do think that I'm beginning to think that tire deck doesn't matter anymore. They're using the C3, C4, C5, which is still the harder range of tracks. I still think everything is going to come down to qualifying. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, sure.
And I think tire deck will be
more important. I believe Piastri will still out-qualify Norris.
Okay, well, why do you believe so? I'm just curious. I'm not challenging. I'm just curious to see what your insight is.
Because the guy seems to be, he's just focused. He seems to be a little more focused.
Yeah. And I agree with you.
Yeah, he seems to be a little bit.
And actually, during the race, he has better tire drag than Norris during a race, too.
And he's not really under as much pressure as Lando Norris. So I feel he will have to out-qualify.
I think he's going to be close. And that's why I'm saying if Norris happens not to beat Piastri this week, no matter what anybody says, it's over. This is like Norris's last chance.
Yeah, I think well, for one, this track is definitely like McLaren, Mercedes kind of track because
Yeah, Mercedes too, because Mercedes has tracks. So George Russell would do well here.
Yeah, so Russell, as I see Mercedes and McLaren doing well here. They really take advantage of it. But obviously there's going to be the big battle, win showdown between Piastri and Norris. That's going to happen. Ferrari and
they're not bringing any upgrade.
So I think Leclerc might just, he's determined. I know he's determined. So he's gonna try and make a sandwich out of that. Out of all that stuff.
I think at best fourth. Yeah.
Fourth. Mm-hmm. But Hamilton, I think he's just gonna be another
six
another frustrating looking whatever. We'll see how it goes. See how that one goes.
Not so much you, Mr. Johnny. I remember last year when I said that Hamilton is doing too much stuff and people said I'm hating on him. Did you see where Hamilton said this week? No more engagement, so I'm going to spend time in the sim machine.
See, this is what he has to do.
Yes, that's what he has to do.
And Norris said, I'm going to stop drinking. I was like, you didn't know before. You can't drink alcohol and be an F1 driver, even unless you're what's this guy? Remember, Raikkonen. Raikkonen used to party, man. Raikkonen was a bad boy.
Raikkonen, yeah, man, Iceman. He was
cocaine, alcohol the day before a race.
If he had a good car,
but we have to remember that this is a sprint weekend, so they're not going to have time.
Okay,
there's only one free practice, then straight to the sprint qualifier, then to the sprint race. So that's going to help McLaren because McLaren doesn't really need to change their setup for race to race. It's going to hurt for Red Bull. If I were Red Bull, I would really do some homework and try to find a middle ground between high speed and slow speed and just stick with it for the whole. And if it's not working up to the point of the sprint race, change it. Also, Ferrari, just keep it simple. Keep with what you used, what they used during the sprints in China. And Mercedes, I think McLaren has that advantage also because they don't have to worry about prep because they basically keep the same setup, no matter what. And you might see somebody win the sprint race like Hamilton or Verstappen or so, but McLaren won't care because they're looking at the big race. Yeah. What are your thoughts about it? What are your thoughts?
I agree with you. It might just happen like the last time that Hamilton won the sprint race and he started celebrating. But this time around, there's going to be much more. And I feel the McLarens hold all the aces here. One area I feel Red Bull should look at very critically is their braking system. Because of turn 1 and turn 17, the heavy braking zones are going to put thermal pressure on the brakes. So they need to do their braking cooling very well because they've been having braking issues. So I feel Red Bull. Yeah, I feel if they can get that right, Max may not win, but he has a chance of a podium.
I think those braking issues they stand out more in slow speed tracks, like he had it in Bahrain.
Okay.
Yeah, because there's more traction zones and braking zones, and this one has traction zones. I think that's where. But hopefully they've worked on it. But because he doesn't have to worry about braking on those high speed tracks because you're never braking. You use engine braking. Yeah. Okay, that's good. So. let's start with Mr. Johnny. What are your predictions for? Let's start off with, let's just say the top 5 for race day. Yeah.
Well, before my predictions, I'd like to say I love this sprint weekend,
I like
because you know, that's where you see.
You can also use the sprint race for testing. It's just like a free
yes. Yeah. And also,
it's actually more relevant because it's race conditions. Sorry, yeah.
Yeah. You see who has the best engineers, because it's not easy to keep like that kind of high performance car to run like twice on the weekend. So usually the car is really
like Mercedes.
so we're gonna see. It's gonna be like, okay. So predictions. Let's see now. I'm gonna say Norris first. Piastri second. Verstappen fourth, and then I'll put Russell third.
Third, yeah, that's gonna be a close one. I agree with you. Go ahead, yeah.
Yes.
And fifth. So would you have Hamilton as fifth, or no, Russell's teammate or Leclerc?
I'll say Leclerc as fifth. Hamilton is very comfortable in that eighth position. Yeah, it seems to be.
Antonelli probably comes sixth. Yeah, but let's not forget Williams. So there's going to be really a hot fight. It's going to be a hot fight. In fact, that's going to be fun. It's going to be fun to see who comes fifth, sixth, seventh. That's more competitive. Yeah. Okay, thank you. So far, great show, man. We're on point today, man. I think we had antidepressants today. What's your predictions? What are your predictions?
I'll take Piastri first, Norris second, and Verstappen third, and then I'll go to the Mercedes team of Russell and Antonelli. Then there may be either Sainz or Albon from Williams. Either Sainz or Albon to follow.
Yeah. I'm not sure. So what I'm going to say is Piastri first, Norris second, third I'm going to say Russell, fourth I'm going to say Verstappen, fifth I'm going to say Leclerc, then sixth I'm going to say one of the Williams guys, most likely
Albon,
yeah. Albon or Sainz, I can't really say. It's really going to be very close in that area, 6, 7. I won't even bother to say it. But yeah, so this is good. So take us out, Mr. Afolabi. Very good show, guys. Thank you. Appreciate everything. Yeah.
Okay. We're looking forward to Miami this weekend, basically. And it's been wonderful discussing Formula One again with Mr. Johnny and Mustafa Jinodu. My name is still Afolabi. We'll be back during the week.